but I definitely wanted to come live. Today is a very special day. Today is a full moon, and I remember that at the beginning of this channel, when we just started, I would do certain lives or certain things on full moons and new moons because these are very potent times to either reflect on something, set new intentions, or to release something. And a very common question that people have is, when is it that you can actually experience a transformation? How much time does it take to experience a transformation? So, I'm going to share a little bit about my own journey and my own story. A lot of you might also be aware of it. But I used to feel this very emptiness and a lot of disconnection within myself, even if I was doing almost the right things according to the world or right things according to my own self, like, getting graduated, having a job, and having family and friends around yourself. But a part of me still felt quite unfulfilled. So it was one of my birthdays, and I think it was my 22nd birthday after my graduation. I had whole of my family around me. I had like 40 plus dishes served in that birthday party. But I was so happy that, I have so many things. But I had this deep emptiness that I experienced on that day, even after having so much. And I wanted to get curious about this thing. So, for a lot of people, they come to spirituality, they come to these things out of a lot of suffering. And I wasn't suffering because I had so many things, and I thought that if I have so many things, what is this part of me which still feels so empty? And what are these things? I wanted to explore it. And then I understood eventually. Okay, so that's the time when I started first talking as a communication skills trainer, got deeper, became a coach. And while I was coaching, I understood that there is something that still is, missing. What is that missing piece and all of that? And a lot of people who knew me before, they know that I am still very logical, very practical about things. But I was a person um, who used to avoid emotions. Like, I used to feel that emotions are useless. Okay. I'm saying that right now as a coach. I used to feel like emotions are the problem that come in between you and your growth. So I always looked at emotions as a big problem. And I used to feel that if I get too much into feelings, then I will miss out on my growth. I'll miss out on the important stuff in my life. So I need to be practical. And that's where, I became very left brain dominant person. I am left brain dominant in my brain design. I mean, left brain dominance is slightly there. Right one is also very active. So I quite have a balanced brain in my brain design that was analyzed by one of my mentors. So I quite have a balanced brain design. But I was not using the right side, which is the more creative side, the more emotional aspect of things. And I discovered this when I was doing a lot of social activities, that how much I love the human to human connect, and how much I would like to work more for humans than work for machines. And I started following that path. But whatever I had suppressed within myself emotionally, I had to face it. Like, there was no bypassing. And because I loved my work so much and I wanted that work to get more and more profound, I worked with a lot of other mentors, coaches, therapists on myself to explore my emotional side deeper, to explore what is there in my inner world with a lot of curiosity. And that's when I understood that emotions are a very important part in your growth. Okay, so bypassing them, you will have to catch up with it, especially the negative ones that we tend to bypass. And if you're someone who likes freedom like me, because I love freedom a lot, I used to feel that, if I just became emotional about things, I will just stay stuck in over there and then not think practically about stuff. But that's not true. If you are truly a free person, why would you want to cage your own emotions? Okay. And that's when I started to realize that my emotional experience with things matters. Okay, so that is why I chose a profession which emotionally fulfills me. So a lot of times people say that I can do more of these, corporate events and more of these places where, you can get professionally invited and all of it, which is good. But what is the magic of that one-on-one or a small group that we do together? There is a deep trust between me and my client present over there. We work at a very deep level together. And there is something so satisfying about that work, personally, for me as a practitioner, that I feel is way beyond just being on stage. I love being on stage. I love when, I was interacting with people on an impersonal level. So when I'm speaking on stage, one thing a lot of people say that it just feels like you're talking to me. Okay, so by being impersonal itself, also I can be so personal with people. That's what I understood about my own stagecraft. But I had never explored this one on one setting a lot. But when I became a coach and I started to do one on one sessions, I understood that to actually go deep with someone else, you also need to have that depth. I had that depth, but me myself, I was so unaware of it that I had it. I had the capacity to experience a range of emotions, but somewhere I used to feel that, oh my god, emotion is bad. Okay, so whether it is sadness, whether it's anger, whether it is this emotion, that emotion, I used to feel it's a bad thing, and one is doing something wrong if they are feeling that. But when I actually educated myself about emotions, I understood that every emotion has a role to play. They're just like traffic signals trying to tell you something about your mind body system. For example, anger tells you that your boundaries were crossed and you need to do something about it. Anger also tells you that something unfair is happening according to your sense of fairness and unfairness. And it's actually very healthy to experience anger. Okay, so what is unhealthy is the violent expressions of anger where people hurt each other. But feeling anger itself is not a problem, and a lot of girls in our day-to-day society are actually, shamed for being assertive or saying things upfront, straightforward. So these things are there. Okay, what does sadness tell you? What does grief tell you? Grief tells you that you lost something or someone. Grief tells you that something or someone mattered a lot to you. Sadness tells you that something wrong has happened, like bad has happened. So emotions have their own roles to play in our life. And the moment I integrated this side in my life, oh my god, that was what we call as transformation. So like I said, that I'm not feeling or keeping well, but I still wanted to talk to you guys. And it is this viral and the flu season going on, in our city. So I've also caught it. And these things actually help us in living in a very, very profound way. So I have a recorded training where I've explained about each and every emotion and what it actually is there to do. So you can access it. You'll find the link in the description. See you. Bye bye.